Now, there have been some drama that has been going around that I am shocked that not a lot of people are talking about. I mean, there are some people covering it, but this is something that I expected to be 2 times bigger. Because this has to be one of the most, I don't even know how to describe it, one of the most interested, YouTube drama I've ever seen in, an extremely long time. I have never seen an event that took so much twists and turns, and that gets so, goofy and just out of control. It is a very interesting situation to see. It has been something that I've been keeping up with for extremely long time. For the past couple of days, so much updates keep on coming in. I want to wait until it took a little bit of a break, a little stop, so we can finally see where this situation is going to end. And I think we have reached this point. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about, I am talking about a YouTuber named iilluminaughttii, which I think that's the way how you say her name. Pretty big YouTuber who has around 1 million subs, and she's one of those documentary type YouTubers who make videos talking about things that I don't really know about, but people absolutely love her videos, and she has a pretty big name in her community that she's in. Well, she ended up doing the 80% speedrun on how to ruin your reputation because a bunch of things ended up coming up to her, which is basically showing her that she's not really that much of a good person, and is a very manipulating and just not good person in general. And this all has to do with the member of her former YouTuber group, Sad Milk. Man, I have no clue what's going on, but it seems like every time when a group of YouTubers come together, disaster always struck. Most group channels only has 2 endings. It either ends extremely well and they stay together, they make a bunch of money, or it just goes the second route where they all fall out of nowhere. A couple of months or a couple of years later, this situation happens where a big expose come out of them and they realize that the group was absolutely terrible and she was in this one situation. Now, this is a situation we're kind of late to, a little tardy to the party, as some people say. So I'm going to catch you up in the situation. Okay, let me catch you up on the situation, give you the recap episode. So this drama ended up beginning where out of nowhere on Twitter, Illuminati ended up accusing another YouTuber, Legal Eagle, for basically plagiarizing and stealing some of her work. Legal Eagle is a pretty big content creator and she's also pretty big, so this caused a lot of the internet detectives to basically get involved to see what's going on. And as they ended up doing their work and scouring through both of their content, they ended up coming down to the conclusion that this is just a bunch of baloney and no copying seems to be done. And then also Legal Eagle came out on the situation and basically been saying that I've been doing YouTube for 2 years before you even existed. How and why would I go and copy you? And after that whole situation, she ended up backpedaling, deleting the tweets, leaving the whole situation. Now, because of this caused a lot of people who used to be part of her group, Sad Milk, to basically go and expose her and talk about her, basically saying things that she did and basically showing that she's not really the nicest person. Now, obviously, because of this, a lot of people were questioning her hey, what's going on? What are you gonna do? And this leads to her to make a response video, a 40-minute response video. And let me basically summarize that video for you. So the first half of the video, she ended up apologizing to Legal Eagle, basically saying sorry for the whole situation. And the video seems fine after that. So I know what you're wondering. Why is this video 40 minutes? Well, that's because she ended up doing a counterattack and basically exposed all the people who are exposed her. And she picks 3 members from her old group, Sad Milk. The first one is being the Click. She basically ended up saying that in the Click Discord, there was a creeper in it, and he basically failed to react to the situation and let the creeper stay and fester in the community. And then she also accused him for hosting a community that allowed this to happen. Second, she ended up accusing him for saying bad things 10 years in the past, oh, he used to say these extremely bad and no good words. And last, she ended up talking about how she regrets helping him when his YouTube channel was being deleted. The second person she ended up calling out is someone who's named Wonderstruck. So this was a kid who lives in another state, and for some reason she flew him out to her state to go live with her, and she also gave him a car and let him stay in their house for absolutely for free. Now, why would you do something like that? I don't know, but she did. She ended up basically making this guy look like an absolute idiot, saying absolutely terrible things about him, and then also expose his medical records to the public, basically saying that he has all these mental health issues, and also showing his log out note. And then the last person she ended up bringing up is one of her friends, Oz, and she did the exact same thing, basically throwing her under the bus. But this situation gets kind of funny because she starts crying about the situation, going I wish me and her could be friends, but at last we couldn't be friends, so now I am gonna throw you under the bus so I can look good. That's basically the whole situation. Now, when this video ended up first coming out, it was kind of 50-50. You had some people liking the video and some people saying the video was absolutely awful, but it kind of stayed in this limbo of like, do people like it or do people not like it, and do people believe what she's saying? And it's basically been like that until one of the YouTubers, The Click, ended up making a response video, and that's what I'm going to talk about. Now you're catch up to the situation. So yeah, now since you're caught up to the present, you're in the land of the living, let me tell you where this drama is right now. So one of the YouTubers that we ended up talking about, named The Click, ended up making a whole response video. After this video came out, it's not really looking good. As I said, her response video when it first came out, it wasn't really received the best, but it was kind of mixed. You know, some people liked it, some people didn't really think it was good. It was a good 50-50. But ever since The Click made her response video was basically over, after this she started rapidly losing subscribers, and she still is as time goes by. It's not really looking so great for her. And The Click response video basically goes against and shows evidence against all the allegations that she basically put against him. The first thing that he ended up debunking ended up being the whole Discord situation, that there was a weird creeper in his Discord and he didn't really do anything to fight back against it. Well, he ended up exposing that when this whole situation ended up happening, when this guy was in the Discord, he was asleep, and to make it even worse for a point, when he ended up waking up, the whole situation was basically done and the guy was basically banned and kicked out of the Discord. So all the mods has did the right thing and got rid of the weirdo, and he also proves that he was on the situation as fast as he could. So like the second he woke up, he ended up talking about the situation and doing all the right things.
Claimed that I didn't react or respond to the situation. Number 1, being asleep at 2 a.m. detail was completely left out. 2, the fact that he was actually banned before this whole thing was left out. And 3, a receipt of Illuminati reaching out to me to get me to respond wasn't shown in her video or allegations. And the reason for this is that it doesn't exist. The person who reached out to resolve this was actually myself. And here are the DMs where I did so. Probably worth going to you too, as this thing seems to be blowing up. What have you seen of the recent events on the server? If we got time, I think a quick VC would be good, because this is going on the warpath, it seems. Warpath referring to the teams arguing and fighting, not actually the ban itself. As I said, that had been issued 16 hours before this conversation took place. One sec, I'm on a call with OT, can I bring him in too? Sure, no problem. Here is a zip file, which is all the images that she showed in her video of the DMs with the creep, etc, etc. By the way, gonna talk to my admins in 15, that's when this person is back and can VC. Okay, I'm writing in the group DM right now. I will let you guys know when all actions have been carried out. I am proud of you. It sounds from this chat, starting from the time I was caught up on the night's events to the time after our voice call, that it worked out quite well. Of course, important to note that this conversation was also an outreach to resolve the Discord Teams issue, not about the ban itself. To further clarify, the ban had been issued 16 hours before this conversation and before I ever woke up.
And I think the one thing that's really insane about this whole situation is that apparently it looks like that she knew about all of this and she knew that this thing was happening. She held information and did nothing about it. I don't know why, just in case that she could use it as her like final trump card so he could go like fight back against these people, which isn't really that shocking because I think this whole situation showed that Illuminati is a very manipulated person. So the second thing I ended up debunking is basically 10 years ago he ended up saying some extremely terrible things. Now this is a situation that I think is always weird when people do this as a counter to like fight back against something, like, oh, he said this 10 years ago and look how terrible he is. And one thing that I think is especially weird, all the people who go to this point to do this are usually the type of people who will fight back against it. But I think it's crazy that most people are like, you know, cancel culture is bad, and going back 10 years ago to see what someone did isn't good because they're not like that anymore. Until it's someone I don't like, you know, the split second I don't like them, that I'll gladly go back to their past and say, hey, 10 years ago they ended up doing this, so this is why he's a terrible person. I think the majority of people on the internet usually will be able to forgive you if you did something crazy 10 years ago because they think like you're a different person now. But one thing that is wild about that is that she paid someone $200 to go back in his past. That's how dedicated she was to basically taking this man down. Now she's willing to go to like some internet detectives and be like, hey, here's $200. Go back in the past and find this man saying these terrible things so I can use this in my expose video. And the last thing he ended up talking about was how she ended up saying that she regrets helping him to get his channel back. It seems like there was a point in time where his channel was going to get deleted and people in Sad Milk and a couple other people helped him to get his channel back. Now apparently it seems like she had nothing to do with that situation, but she trying to took that as her win and that she says she regrets doing that. that, which is just okay. But this is just the beginning of the goofiness, because this situation gets even more goofier, which I didn't even know was possible. The last part of this video, he ended up exposing that this girl went to his Discord and went to his Reddit, made an alt account on them to basically talk smack about him and ruin his name. She straight up made a whole nother account so he can talk about how terrible of a person this guy is and basically slander him around all of his friends and all of his moderators so they don't really like him anymore.
This draft matches with one of the posts made by an alt account called Doobie Schmertz on Reddit, and this is the entirety of the post. This is the truth about Sad Milk. It really looks like creative differences is dumb AF. Blair tweeting about being stabbed in the back of one topic, leaving his supporter server, and then so on and so forth, and I was a big fan of the click. I thought his streams were great, blah, blah, blah. But then I think Blair saw some of his streams. He did a stream where he watched some of his old videos. So this is actually Blair on an alt account making the claims that Blair must have seen some of his old videos randomly. She totally wasn't paying people to dig up dirt. This is her on an alt account, spreading misinformation and trying to enhance her own image.
That is an insane level of just pettiness, an insane level of, I don't even know what to call it, just so you can get revenge on someone on your funny internet group. Absolutely crazy. Now, at the end of the video, he ended up talking about how it was an absolute terrible thing that she ended up exposing someone else's, like, mental health and their history, which is an absolute wild thing to do. I don't understand that how all because you don't really like someone anymore, or you guys fell out, you will just keep extremely sensitive information and just throw it out in the public, because I'm pretty sure if someone shares their log out note with you, that's some pretty sensitive topic and isn't something that you should just throw around because I don't like them anymore. Me angry, grrr. Absolutely insane situation. One little thing I want to talk about before I leave is whole YouTube groups in general. It's so crazy now that so much YouTube groups end like this. I think this isn't the first one. We have seen this so much times where a bunch of YouTubers will come together and act like friends, and it seems like the YouTubers all like each other, you know, they all enjoy each other's company, and it's like a nice wholesome place to be around. And then news ended up coming out down the line that is not like that at all. Something bad happens and they all break up with each other, and then a crazy, like, exposed thing happens. Every YouTube group happened with this. I mean, come on, or like one of their members leave, or just some controversy in general. Why can't these content creators just be normal? Don't be terrible people. Why is that so hard for some people? Like, are they literally shaking in their bed like, oh my god, I have to be a decent human being, I have to not be a terrible person, it's so difficult. Anyway, this is just one YouTube drama that I wanted to talk about. Absolute crazy situation. Now, the situation seems to not be over, as some people in the group are getting ready to do response, and if anything new happens, I'll make sure to keep you guys up with it. Anyway, my name is Lua. This is something I want to talk about. You have a good day or night. See ya.